chap, I think. I better correct myself. It's his third Tour de France, but we didn't know him. He was on a different team last time, and he never, ever distinguished himself. But he has now, as he's gone to the new Europe car team, inspired as the families looked after the yellow jersey of Thomas Voigtler over every mountain and kept him in yellow for as long as he could. Now he's going to try and get the best young rider's jersey and the stage win. Sanchez will be kicking himself because he took him up, and Evans goes again, and this time he never misses. He's after him again. Andy Schleck has gone. They've gone around Peter Velits and Thomas de Gent.
Well, now Evans is looking for second and third place on the road, or fourth place on the road, because just ahead of him now, not too far ahead, are these two riders who are losing incredible chunks of time as they go on the Flamme Rouge, the red kite. 1,000 meters to go for the Frenchman.
And you know, by the end of this day, we won't know the winner of the Tour de France either. It's going to be so close, and it goes down to a little time trial around Grenoble tomorrow, 42 kilometres. After all these thousands that we've ridden through this really tough course, Pierre Roland is grimacing with pain here. He's got that little bandage, little plaster which widened out his nostrils so he can get more air in across the bridge of his nose. How is he going to feel here, climbing up this hallowed road here all the way to the summit of Alpe d'Huez, and to an enormous cheer. Alpe d'Huez, a French winner, a white jersey. They lose the yellow, it'll be a forgotten thing.
Well, Sammy Sanchez is gone. This is a last scuttle across. He's left Alberto Contador behind. Contador, I have to say, was the champion of the day today, the bravest man out in this bike race, but the man who's taken advantage of a rough day of racing on the final day of the Alps is a Frenchman, Pierre Roland. About 500 meters to go. He's going to take the left-hand turn very short. Left-hand turn very shortly, and he'll see the finish line in front of him.
And he climbs all the way up to the line. Listen to the cheers now as he lines up for the finish. We've seen all the stars of the Tour de France do this one. Looks over his shoulder. He can still drive. The time doesn't worry too much now. This is going to be a huge cheer, and the Frenchman gets the win at Alpe d'Huez. The crowd cheer, a two-arm salute, look, it's me, and he gets a white jersey as well, and it's the Olympic champion Samuel Sanchez who comes home, and for many the hero of the day, Alberto Contador, who will cross the line in third place.
Well, Alberto Contador tried to do everything to turn this race upside down this afternoon, and what a phenomenal performance by him. 34 kilometers an hour. Not really a good time to remind you that the elimination time this afternoon will be about 25 minutes. And I would think there's a lot of riders and a long way back. Andy Schleck now is coming up to the line, and he's caught up everybody.
Taking on Velits as they come in. Schleck determined. Evans must keep that gap closed down. There'll be time gaps if they don't. As they race towards the line now, Velits is going to take on Andy Schleck. Look at this. And there'll be no split time here because Evans is making a dash for the line. Evans wants to prove a point, and he usually finishes off with victory. But today, he'll have to pay a second fiddle to Peter Velits, who is going to survive best. But in second place, it's Cadel Evans. I reckon tonight, in hindsight, he may have won the Tour de France tomorrow, so he sits 57 seconds behind Andy Schleck when they start tomorrow in the time trial. And this will seal up the team Garmin-Cervelo as they finish Ryder Hesjedal and Tommy Daniel. But tomorrow, Paul, it will be Andy Schleck in the maillot jaune.
It will be Andy Schleck. What a fight by the Schleck brothers here this afternoon, Phil, and it's going to go down to that individual time trial. Christophe Riblon coming in. The Schleck brothers have made this race through the Alps quite remarkable. And by the way, let's not forget, at 1 kilometer to go, the yellow jersey at the start of the day, Thomas Voigtler, is still fighting, and he will fight all the way up to Paris, this young man.
And still gets all the cheers. This is Ryan Taname coming in, but it's not enough time saved to keep that white jersey. It'll be presented tonight to Pierre Roland. He started the day with only 33 seconds advantage over Roland. Roland has won the day, 2 minutes has gone by. So he's lost the white jersey to Pierre Roland. In this group two, at the back in the red is the American from Santa Rosa, California, Levi Leipheimer, just behind Ivan Basso.
Well, Ivan Basso tried with his team to keep this race in check, but what a battle everybody's had this afternoon. It really has been an incredible race. So Pierre Roland, by the way, Phil said he needed a big chunk of time when we came up to the individual time trial to try and keep Ryan Taname back.
Well, that'll be an interesting battle. That one won't die until tomorrow either in the time trial for the white jersey, because Taname is a very good time trial champion. We'll see as they continue to come in now. We've already seen Hesjedal has come in, and that's possibly has kept the lead for the riders in the team competition for Garmin-Cervelo. Well, Pierre Rolland has won his first stage of the Tour de France and the first stage this year for France.
And there's going to be a huge cheer also, because you can hear them and they can just about see the yellow jersey coming around the corner. That's Thomas Voeckler. He's ridden exceptionally well, I have to say, today, Phil. I don't know where he's got all of his strength from, because he almost made it back into the group.
Crowd.
Christian van der Velde over there makes it the third rider for Garmin-Cervelo as well.
He's getting a bigger cheer than the winner of the race today, and he's determined to show his colours at the front of this group. He had 15 seconds at the start of the day now, and he's lost 3 minutes of that, but it doesn't matter. He has gone out in a cloud of glory today, and well done to Voeckler. He won't be in yellow tomorrow, but he'll certainly be a better known person because of it. So tremendous riding. Pierre Rolland of France gets the first French stage win. Well, with all a drink of coffee, I think I've earned that today. But what a stage we have watched here on the Tour de France. We've seen it from start to finish on Versus. As we now come up to the top of Alpe d'Huez, we've watched this ski station develop over the years since '73 when we first came up seriously. And now there's a map of France for you, and this is the result. Team Europcar of France gives Pierre Rolland his first ever stage victory in his third Tour de France. Sam Sanchez, the Olympic champion, finishes second. Contador, the defending champion, gets third. Velits, the top man on HTC High Road, is fourth. Cadel Evans, determined to win this tour, finishes in fifth, 57 seconds back, in the same time as Frank Schleck and Andy Schleck. Ryder Hagedal just behind them in 10th place. The Canadian had a big welcome here on the top of the Alpe, because there's a lot of people from Canada over here watching Hagedal this day. Tom Danielson came in 11th place. Jean-Christophe Perrault, the mountain biker, in 12th in his first tour. Rain Taname might get his white jersey back in the time trial tomorrow. Ivan Basso completes the top 15. We're far from done here on Alpe d'Huez, but we will take a break while the riders get their breath back, and the commentators, and we'll see you back here on the other side of the messages. Rejoin us as we wrap up an incredible day on the Tour de France. We'll see you in just a moment. There. Back with the Tour de France, the happy face of the youngster on the Tour de France, the Europcar. Pierre Rolland gets the first win for France, and this was his first stage win, and it comes on Alpe d'Huez. He cannot believe it. But you know the price you pay when you try to win the Tour de France, the exhaustion of the big names. They gave the all today. Thomas Voeckler, he's still in fourth place in this race. He's out of yellow, but he'd be delighted with the results of his teammate Pierre Rolland. The Alpe has done it again, and now we say goodbye to this magnificent mountain change as we head now off to the flatter roads. Well, today's Road ID ride of the day, there are many candidates, but we're going to give it to Alberto Contador. Having lost his time yesterday, he came back and he fought and attacked from the gun, and he really looked at one stage though he's going to wipe everybody out. He never slowed down, he pushed on the odds. He looked like the old Alberto today. As he started to move away on the climb of Alpe d'Huez, it looked as though they wouldn't catch him, but it was just a couple of kilometres too long for him. And as the crowd tried to urge him on slowly but surely, Alberto was slowing down. And Pierre Rolland, who had attacked at the bottom of the climb, was coming back. This was a great ride though, and Alberto Contador will try and do a good ride tomorrow in the time trial. If you want a chance to win over $12,000 in prizes, including a trek with Don, head on over to roadid.com. All right, well, we'll take one more break. We're getting all our podiums organised, as many interviews as we can get, but the guys today, understandably, need a little more time to get the breath back. down on the town of Alpe d'Huez here on top of the world, because it just wanders off into infinity. It's a lovely place to be. It's a fine place to say au revoir to the Alps this year in the Tour de France. And very fittingly, a Frenchman, Pierre Rolland, has won his first stage in his third Tour de France. And he says all he wants to do is win the Tour de France one day. All right, well, he might well do that. Let's have a look what happened as the race unfolded. We saw it from end to end here on Versus today. The riders leaving the town of Modane, and immediately a series of attacks were unleashed. As a breakaway started to establish, though, we saw this attack by Chris Anker Sorensen of Saxo Bank. We should have wisened up to that one, because it wasn't long before there was another attack coming, and it came from Alberto Contador. Contador joined the front runner. Andy Schleck responded. Cadel Evans did respond as they joined the leaders. This looked like to be a very strange pattern forming in the Tour de France as they started the slopes of the Col de Terrigraphe, and the yellow jersey of Thomas Voigtler wasn't done for yet either. He sprinted out the peloton. We had all the heads of the Tour going clear, with all of the climbs ahead of them for the rest of the day. Then there was a problem. Cadel Evans rocked and rolled and dropped off. Something happened to his bike. He tried twice to ride it. In the end, he had to change it. By now, he was getting too far behind that escape, which was still up the road. The yellow jersey of Voigtler started to struggle as we got over the top of the Col de Telegraph and onto the Galibier. Contador was looking for help from Andy Schleck in the red number 11 there. The other riders of the original breakaway were finding life a little bit hard alongside the former three-time winner of the Tour de France, who seemed to be on fire today. He was looking to hurt everybody. After all, they'd hurt him yesterday on the same climb, but from the other side. They were getting away from Thomas Voigtler, but that man doesn't give up easy. Cadel Evans was trying to reorganize the chase. Voigtler was up behind him. So too, though, was Frank Schleck, the brother of Andy. He was out in front, was Andy. And so Cadel Evans had to really go for it himself. He tried to attack on the steeper slopes of the Galibier. It's a very awkward descending style of Andy Schleck, which seemed to be very effective as they raced into Bourg d'Oisans, 10 kilometers now from the sprint. And as they all began to chase back together again, as they headed down towards the climb of Alpe d'Huez, it was rider Hejjedal who contacted Pierre Rolland and said, let's ride for the Alpe together. Contador, though, once he got onto the slopes of the Alpe, was doing all the dancing. Andy Schleck tried to control him as well. Pierre Rolland saw him coming up to him along with rider Hejjedal. It was everybody fighting for whatever they could take out of the Tour de France today. Some were riding to win it, some were riding just to rebuild their reputation. Contador now was going clear. Pierre Rolland was being dropped by the Spanish former champion. Massive crowd on Dutch corner, and they saw Andy Schleck go through, anxious to conserve the attack of Contador. About 2.5 minutes back, but not conceding an inch, was Thomas Voigtler. Contador looked to be making good progress, but he was in fact beginning to slow down. Schleck asked Cadel Evans to help. Cadel Evans said, no, I'm happy where I am. Then Pierre Rolland was brought up to the side of Contador by Samuel Sanchez. Then he attacked him. They got rid of Sanchez. Contador was very attentive, though. Then came an attack from Cadel Evans to try and get rid of the Schlecks, and he really gave it his best shot. But so far, Andy Schleck has never missed a move in this year's Tour de France. He was straight on to him. Then Pierre Rolland persisted, and it paid off at 2 kilometers to go. He was heading for home and heading for the first French victory in this year's Tour de France. He got it too, and a white jersey awaits him. It's not certain he'll keep it. He's got to ride the best time trial of his life tomorrow to hold off Rein Taramay, who is the time trial champion of his country. Second place, the Olympic champion, came over the line, Samuel Sanchez. And it had to be a top 3 finish for the man of the day, Alberto Contador. Nothing else would have been justice. Then came the battle for who will lead the Tour de France, while this man could not believe he had won the climb of Alpe d'Huez. Little bit of a regrouping here. The Schleck brothers on the right, Cadel Evans on the left. The sprint taken by Peter Velits. No time difference at all between them. So the new leader of the Tour de France is now Andy Schleck. Brother Frank is second. Cadel is third. This man will now be